The Karate War Pack had a problem, and Alpha Coordinator Vrek was running out of solutions. Across the training grounds, 20 juvenile karate, each the size of an earth grizzly bear, with obsidian claws and enough bite force to crush steel, sat in complete, stubborn silence. They had been sitting like that for 3 standard hours. No amount of commanding, threatening, or cajoling had moved them. "This is unprecedented," Vrek growled, his fur bristling with frustration. The Karate had bred warriors for 12,000 years. Their young were aggressive, competitive, eager to prove themselves. They did not simply refuse. Yet here they were, 20 of the most promising cubs in the generation, staging what the human liaison had called a sit-down strike. Dr. Rebecca Torres watched from the observation platform, trying very hard not to smile. She'd seen this before, not with alien wolf warriors from a death world, obviously, but the principle was the same. "Permission to approach? Alpha Coordinator," she called down. Vrek's ears flattened against his skull. The human had been assigned to their training facility as part of the cultural exchange program. She was supposed to observe and learn karate methods, not interfere. But at this point, he was willing to try anything. "Granted," he snarled, "though I doubt your species' methods will prove effective." Rebecca descended to the training ground and walked calmly toward the sitting cubs. 20 pairs of golden eyes tracked her movement. She could smell their musk, hear the low rumble in their chests. Any one of them could tear her apart in seconds. She sat down cross-legged in front of the group and pulled out her tablet. "All right," she said conversationally, not addressing anyone in particular. "I heard what happened. Alpha Coordinator Vrek changed the training schedule without asking what you thought. Moved your free hunt period to add more combat drills." Several cubs' ears perked up. Vrek started to object, but Rebecca raised a hand. "Now I get it. You're training to be elite warriors. The best of the best. That takes discipline and sacrifice." She scrolled through her tablet. "But here's the thing, and I learned this the hard way working with human military cadets. You can't just dictate to people and expect optimal performance, even if those people have fangs." The largest cub, a female named Shara who was being groomed for pack leadership, made a sound somewhere between a growl and a question. "You want to know why?" Rebecca met Shara's eyes without flinching. "Because warriors aren't machines. You're not training robots. You're training thinking, feeling beings who fight better when they understand the why behind their orders and have some say in their own development." She stood up and addressed Vrek directly. "Alpha Coordinator, with respect, these cubs aren't refusing because they're lazy or disrespectful. They're refusing because you made a unilateral decision that affects their well-being without consultation. They're actually showing excellent strategic thinking. This is a non-violent way to signal that their input matters." Vrek's growl deepened. "They are juveniles. They do not dictate. They're also your future warriors," Rebecca interrupted calmly. "The ones who will need to make split-second decisions in combat, adapt to changing circumstances, and lead packs of their own someday. You can't train independent tactical thinking by crushing every independent thought they have." The training ground had gone completely silent. Rebecca turned back to the cubs. "Here's my suggestion. You return to training. Alpha Coordinator Vrek agrees to hold a council session where you can voice concerns about the schedule. Maybe you keep some combat drills and negotiate back some of your hunt time. Maybe you compromise on something else entirely. But both sides talk, both sides listen, and both sides give a little." She looked at Shara. "Sound fair?" The young Karate regarded her for a long moment, then looked at her fellow cubs. Some kind of silent communication passed between them. Finally, Shara rose to her feet. "We train," she said, her voice still rough with youth, but carrying surprising authority. "But Alpha Coordinator Vrek meets with Pack Council tomorrow." Rebecca looked at Vrek. The Alpha Coordinator's jaw worked silently, his pride clearly warring with pragmatism. Finally, he nodded once, sharply. "Tomorrow," he agreed. "Now formation drills. Move." The cubs exploded into motion, suddenly eager and energized. Within seconds, the training ground was alive with activity. Vrek approached Rebecca, his expression unreadable. The humans spoke, and they obeyed. No, Rebecca corrected gently. The human listened, and then they trusted. There's a difference. The Alpha coordinator watched his cubs train with a new intensity, executing